Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, the Yankees stumbled a bit against the Baltimore Orioles, dropped 2 out of 3. Kind of annoying against a little pesky Baltimore Orioles, so we'll kind of get into that, as well as preview the incoming San Diego Padres coming across the coast here with a showdown with the Bombers at Yankee Stadium. But before we start, make sure you subscribe to this podcast. So wherever you're listening right now, make sure you subscribe, like, follow, all that, and get notified new content goes up throughout the rest of this baseball season and a little off season. So Baltimore Orioles come to town, and they kind of got out to a great start of the season. The Yankees went down to Camden earlier this season, dropped 2 out of 3. Well, ended up dropping 2 out of 3 here in the Bronx, which is kind of annoying because Yankees traditionally like to beat up on the Orioles, but again, this is a different Orioles team now, and again, they're even ahead of the Yankees by 4 games in the standings there. But it's a situation where I wouldn't really be bothered about this dropping 2 out of 3 here versus earlier on in the season. It was kind of an annoying series. Again, you had one great game the first one, and kind of 2 annoying games on the back end. But I don't think it's somewhere definitively you look at the Baltimore Orioles as a much better team than the Yankees. I just think the Yankees it's kind of a little bit worn out. I mean, they're in a good place. You had the great Toronto series winning at 3 or 4 up there, and then of course sweeping the Cincinnati Reds, and kind of things are rolling along a little bit. The Yankees looking really good. They stumble a little bit here against the Baltimore Orioles, but again, I still think the Yankees are in a good place overall. So kind of go back. So with the first game, and again, it was just kind of things that usually wouldn't happen. Now, Cole did achieve his 2000 career strikeout, great, but was behind early for the Yankees and put the Yankees in an early 4-0 hole by the 4th inning there. But the Yankees did finally mount a comeback. Bottom of the 4th, Bader finally got the Yankees on the board with a home run to get the offense started. And then in the 9th inning, the Yankees down by a run, 6-5. Their closer, Felix Bautista, against Aaron Judge. And we've seen the Yankees, have some close calls against Bautista, usually put a few runners on, but they can never get that big hit, especially down in Camden Yards. But finally, the Yankees come through, and an 0-2 pitch, which is inexcusable. Bautista throws a breaking ball there, and Judge, without peeking to the dugout, launches a home run, bomb to left field there, ties the game up at that point 6-6. And then in the bottom of the 10th, Anthony Volpe, the exciting young rookie, gets his first walk-off sacrifice fly, brings an IKF, and the Yankees with a thrilling 6-5 walk-off win there. And, you look at that game where, again, Cole, again, usually reliable, didn't really have his best stuff, and kind of Baltimore kind of smacked him around early, put 2 runs up there early in the first inning, and Cole was behind 4-0. Again, that's usually something that's not going to happen more times than not. So again, that's just a situation where I just think it's just, I don't put too much stock in that. It's just, Cole is a little sloppy. And again, but good to see the Yankee offense come back. Second game was really the most annoying one because the Yankees were up at this point in the 5th inning by a score of 5-1. Gleyber Torres had 2 home runs in the first 5 frames there. Nestor Cortez looks like he was rolling along, and Nestor had a good start last time in Cincinnati. Figure out maybe Nestor's getting his stuff back, but unfortunately it did fall apart for him in 7th inning. You could probably, again, Boone's had a kind of a difficult season, kind of knowing when to take pitches out, when to leave them in. And again, he probably a situation where he left Nestor in a little bit too long, ready with 2 runners on in the inning, let him pitch to Adam Frazier, and Adam Frazier deposited a 3-run home run. Baltimore within 1 run at the score at 5-4. And then Jimmy Cordero, who's again usually reliable more times than not, he was no good either. Let up for a couple of singles as well as an RBI double, and then I swung the score in favor of Baltimore 6-5. And then Albert Abreu, who has just been almost always abysmal when they bring him in, let up 3 more runs, and Yankees went behind again at one point, leading 5-1. We're now losing 9-5. Again, a devastating 8-run 7th inning there for Baltimore Orioles. So again, that's just something that's usually not going to happen. So I know, even though it's disappointing losing 2 out of 3, it was just sort of a freaky 3-game set there. And then it brings us to game 3, which is also maybe not as annoying, but it was more just on the Yankee offense, which did absolutely nothing. Now, early in the game, Boone got ejected for the 4th time this season, leads all managers. Basically, Schmidt was really throwing perfect strikes on the outside corner there, and the umpire was just totally missing them. So, I understand Boone's frustrations at this point. Usually, once in a while, I think the manager's overdoing a little bit when they try to, I think they try to do it, maybe try to get the offense to wake up a little bit, get the team to wake up a little bit. They seemed a little lethargic from the first game, but these calls were so bad and so egregious. I totally support Boone going out there, giving the home plate umpire a mouthful. And I guess from all the yelling, technically spit a little bit on the umpire's mouth. You could read his lips there. And so that caused Boone to officially get ejected. So 4th time this season. And, Schmidt, who I've been beating up on him a lot, but he really he deserved the better fate with this. Only gave up 1 run in the 5th there. It was an RBI single to Santander. Put the Yankees behind 1-0, and the Yankee offense did absolutely nothing. And really, the story of the game was Kyle Gibson, not really overpowering, but absolutely shut the Yankees down. for 7 innings of scoreless ball. Only struck out 3, but again, the Yankees really couldn't get anything going against them. And you kind of see, maybe the offense a little tied a little bit of that. I don't know that exactly. I mean, maybe some individual Yankees are. But again, it was just kind of a freaky thing where you don't see Cole giving up 4 runs early on in the game. You don't see the Yankee pitching staff in general giving up 8 runs in 1 inning for the second game. And in the third game, the Yankee offense was just non-existent. And again, it's just kind of 3 freakish things in there, which is, again, I wouldn't put too much stock that the Yankees are, oh my God, they're back in their bad ways. I still think they're in a good place overall. But unfortunately, the Yankees dropped 2 out of 3 there. So that's it. And now, again, getting to some individual Yankees, I think some are like DJ LeMahieu is getting a little bit tired. I mean, he's only hitting 158 in his last 7 games with no home runs. And you remember early on, he wasn't supposed to be on his feet this long. And he's recovering from the fractured foot from the offseason there. And I mean, he was supposed to play the field a little bit, but again, I think the absence of Donaldson has put DJ at third base a lot more than they were planning to, and maybe it's starting to take effect a little bit. Maybe need to get off his feet a little bit there, so he could be a little bit tired. And again, Judge was pretty much red hot up in Toronto. He was red hot, also hitting not as many home runs, but still hitting the ball hard in Cincinnati, and maybe he cooled off just a little bit, so a little ebb and flow there. So again, I wouldn't put too much worry about it. Now, speaking of Donaldson, finally getting a rehab start there in his first game, did go 1 for 3, so he's working his way back, as well as Kane Lee throwing a scoreless inning in his rehab comeback there. So I think getting those pieces back soon, even though Yankee fans aren't exactly dying to see Josh Donaldson again. I think just getting him in the field a little bit more at third base, getting DJ off his feet a little bit more, and obviously Torres, he's doing great at second base there. So obviously he's going to get the majority starts at second base, but then maybe once in a while you put DJ there at second base, just give Torres a day off, and that was the original plan. And I think just getting DJ off his feet a little bit will help him because he was hitting much better about a week ago. He's dropped down about 250, so you could tell he's probably just a little tired out. And he had that whole fiasco in the first game with the missed sign when he tried to do out the suicide screen with Torres. And we don't know if DJ missed a sign, did Torres miss a sign? Never really got the full breakdown there, but maybe he's just out of it a little bit. So I think that's one of the reasons why the Yankees kind of had this little disappointing series against Baltimore. But I think overall, if you compare two teams, if they're hitting on all cylinders, I still think the Yankees are the better team. They just kind of need to get it going a little bit against those Baltimore Orioles. So now we got the San Diego Padres coming to town. And the Padres, with all their big stars and all the offseason moves, they have Soto and Machado. They made those trades at the deadline, bringing in Soto and Josh Bell and all that. And, of course, had the big offseason, gave the contract to Xander Bogaerts there. And, of course, you have Fernando Tatis Jr. Coming back from his, PED suspension, which was a shampoo hair thing, which is all kind of weird. And, of course, the old friend Matt Carpenter, the former Yankee, making his return. Let's see if he, if he gets an at bat and if he gets an ovation by the Yankee Stadium crowd. I think he will. As well as you've got the old veteran there, Nelson Cruz, who's the ageless wonder there. But of course, now the San Diego Padres have all these great players. They have Yu Darvish, but it's been a disappointing season for them. They're coming in at 23 and 27. So with all those big names, with the great postseason run they had last year, with all the expectations coming this year, they're 4 games under 500. So just imagine if the Yankees were in that situation, people would be burning Brian Cashman at the stake. The Yankees, otherwise on the other side, in a better place at 30 and 22, 8 games over 500. Again, still a little bit against the Baltimore Orioles now. They're 7 games back of the Tampa in the AL East, slowly climbing there. So that'll be the showdown. Now, the little spice to this is going to be the debut of Randy Vasquez, the Yankee, I guess, I don't want to call him a phenom, but I guess he's a big name in the farm system there that they have high hopes on. Of course, Domingo Germán is serving that 10-game suspension with the substance issue. So that's why he's not pitching this game. So they're going to bring up Randy Vasquez to have the start. And let's see how the young guy does. Is he going to be a Johnny Brito? Is he going to be a Domingo Germán? Is he going to be a Clark Schmidt? Or is he going to be a Luis Severino stud? We don't know yet. We'll see. That all remains to be seen. So Yankees still a little bit against Baltimore Orioles, but I think, I like this matchup again, the Padres. Hopefully there's not a series where they come alive. Of course, just the Yankees' luck, I could see that happening. But, this is a team that has been struggling a little bit. So the Yankees maybe could kind of get back in the winning ways, win a series at home against, again, maybe a team that's having a great record. But again, you look at the superstars on that Padres team, you feel good about if you could beat them 2 out of 3 or even sweep them, that would be even better. And if Randy Vasquez could have an impressive first start, even the more better. So that's the episode. I'll catch you next time.